Paul, say something stupid.
Brock Lesnar had one of the swiftest and quickest downfalls in WWE for a star of his caliber, if you can call it a downfall just yet. But it wasn't long ago when WWE couldn't get enough of him and positioned him in the most important stories and matches. It all came crashing down when an implication in a lawsuit that was otherwise not about him. We're not saying he's a victim here or anything, but before this he had a pretty good reputation, if not a squeaky clean one. He was the guy who came to work a few times a day, created big moments, collected big paychecks, and went back into the Canadian wilderness to do whatever Brock Lesnar does. More than anything, he was known to be a nice guy outside of the ring, with many WWE stars having positive things to say about him. It was the Royal Rumble season, which meant that the road to WrestleMania was beginning. You know, the time when WWE brings out some of the big guns. Once the lawsuit came out, WWE was quick to cancel his planned return at Rumble, and subsequently his entire WrestleMania storyline, whatever it was going to be. But by the time WrestleMania 40 season came around, it was almost like people forgot that he was there. It feels odd to have a WrestleMania season without Brock Lesnar, but this felt like it was the first time when WWE really didn't need him for the show of shows.
Stand back. There's a new wrestling quiz coming through. Check out BrainBuster, the daily quiz that tests your WWE knowledge with winning streaks, stats, and more. It's time to see if you're up for the challenge.
When Triple H was asked about Brock Lesnar's status in the post-WrestleMania press conference, he confirmed that not only were the rumors of the canceled Royal Rumble appearance true, but he stated that Lesnar is still very much with WWE. As for where Lesnar is now and what he's doing, Triple H simply said that Brock was at home doing Brock things. The previous regime with Vince McMahon seemingly did very little negotiation with Brock Lesnar, who got what he wanted. Don't get us wrong, if he could negotiate multi-million-dollar deals for limited dates, nobody can fault him for that. But the same may not happen under the new regime. This is important to remember. The change in regime is likely going to be the biggest difference in whether or not Lesnar even returns to WWE. Ari Emanuel, Nick Khan, and whoever else made the decision knew that they were walking on very thin ice with the Lesnar situation. In hindsight, it was probably the right call to scrap any plans they had for the Beast Incarnate at WrestleMania. With rumors that Lesnar signed his last WWE contract up until 2024, it's going to be interesting to see whether WWE extends his contract or if there's some sort of an agreement for a few more matches. Let's be real, Brock Lesnar is going to get a huge pop if or when he comes back, and WWE knows it, but is he actually going to return? Let's assume it happens and we see Brock Lesnar return. There are essentially going to be two divided reactions. The vast majority of fans, including the live in-person audience, will be more than excited to see the return of a legend for the first time since SummerSlam 2023. The minority, a very vocal minority, are going to go online to express their displeasure over WWE bringing him back considering the circumstances.
That is one big pile of shit.
When Triple H was asked in the post-Rumble press conference about what WWE was going to do going forward to avoid another Janelle Grant situation, his answer was, quote, everything, end quote. If WWE is vowing to do everything in their power to avoid a Janelle Grant situation, does it not look like a huge bit of hypocrisy to bring back one of the names directly implicated in her lawsuit? We can only speculate that the higher-ups in WWE and TKO would genuinely love to have a big name like Lesnar back, but they're also acutely aware of the negative implications of it. It's going to come down to whether they decide that there is more good than bad in bringing him back. But to do so, more time is going to need to pass for fans to overlook the lawsuit situation. The story may have died down a lot from January 2024, but all it takes is one spark for everything to pick back up again. We should remind you that this story is the most media coverage WWE got in an extremely long time. And we mean proper mainstream media coverage. Sure, Lesnar may have been implicated in one part of the lawsuit, but it's tied to a much larger one about the most powerful man in the history of the professional wrestling industry. The unfortunate reality is that the actual morality of the situation will likely have very little weight on WWE's decision. It's going to be more about whether it's harmful PR or not. WWE might just be waiting for the lawsuit to play out so more truth comes to light that will help aid their decision. WWE may even already know what the truth is, but the decision will be based on how bad things get publicly with the McMahon allegations and how much more comes out. Imagine what it's going to be like for WWE if they get a viral moment of Brock Lesnar returning, only for Wall Street Journal and other mainstream media outlets to remind people that the guy they brought in was accused in one of the biggest scandals WWE has seen in years. It wouldn't be surprising if Brock Lesnar just decided that he was done and didn't want to come back. He already kinda did that during the pandemic. As for WWE, we doubt they're gonna rush into deciding on Brock Lesnar's future. It just makes sense for them to wait and see how it plays out. Do they want him to return? Probably. Will he end up returning? Probably not. But then again, it's WWE, so you can never say never. One thing is for sure, if Brock Lesnar does come back, then be ready for his last ride. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, well, actually, it's a complete disaster, but thanks.